Hey, what's up? It's Friday at this point. I'm guessing when we release this, let's hope we've gotten a little bit better since the last time you heard our voice. On Monday this week, we had in the studio Nolan's accountability partner, Mr. Matthew Gant. It was a fantastic conversation. This is our Jocko right here. Maybe
Jocko's a Navy SEAL. Matt is a Marine.
I'm just saying,
apparently there's a difference.
Apparently, yeah. Nolan got in trouble.
There is a difference, not apparently.
Nolan called him a soldier earlier, and it was wrong. He is not a soldier. He's a Marine.
He's a Marine. That's right.
So, well, as you notice, Ari is still sick, not with us, but we have two people in studio today. We have Chris and Jaclyn Cazier. Mm-hmm. Did I say that right, Cazier?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yep. Good. And they're in today to talk about Team Blake, and we're excited to have them. I think this is going to be a really, really productive and interesting conversation. And first and foremost, where can we find you? On Facebook? Is that the best place to learn more about Team Blake?
Yeah, you can find us on Facebook under Team Blake, and we also have Team Blake Foundation. I kind of started a page there too after Blake passed away. And also, you can find us on our website at foreverteamblake.com.
Perfect.
I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to compliment your website. It is, people that go through, they can never truly understand unless they've gone through it. And then for me, just like when we talked to Erica last week, Grit's still fighting. We still have him, and we have not lost. And so I can't even empathize with you there. I mean, we're going to kind of get into that, But when you get on your website, you can feel the emotion and what you guys have gone through and what Blake meant to you. And now, for his memory, you can actually see that and feel that on your website. So I think it's great. And that's really hard to do. So, because, everyone's so 10 seconds of this and they move on, but you get on there and it's a well done site. If you check it out, we'll definitely send
and
people.
We'll put a link in. I always look over at Devin, knowingly, we'll link to that. So yeah, how did you come to meet Nolan and his family?
We found you on Facebook.
Some of the things that Team Blake does, they do their toy drive every year, which I'll let them explain that. But they got a hold of us online. They knew what we were going through. And contacted us and sent us some gifts, and they've sent Grit a birthday present and every year, so thank you. And then some Christmas presents, and just because they know they've been through it, just makes things a little easier, and it's kind of nice to know that people are thinking about you. And I think that's one of your guys' motivations, right?
Yeah.
It was important for us. When Blake was in treatment, he never really got to leave those four walls. Initially, at first, when we were at Stormont, he could. But once we moved to Children's Mercy after his relapse, we were stuck in a room for a month at a time, and then we'd be home for like a week. But we were in the hospital all the time, so when people sent us gifts, and when Blake would open them, you just see his face light up, and they were all things he loved, like trains, and he'd just say, whoa, and just forget for a moment that he was in this hospital bed with all these wires and tubes, and just, he was a kid again, and not a sick kid. So we like to get that love back because we know what it feels like.
Now, what was his initial diagnosis?
He was initially diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia. December of 2015. We had just celebrated his first birthday. We actually took him in to the hospital on our daughter's birthday, and so that's kind of a hard day for us because we want to be happy for our daughter, but we're sad because we know what that day really is to us. So he was diagnosed then, and we started treatment at Stormont in Topeka, And we just wanted to stay home close to our kids. And it was, the same protocol anywhere he would go. They would have done the same thing. So it wasn't till his third phase. Yes, his third phase when he relapsed in just his spinal fluid only, which is very bad. It made his percent of survival like 15% then. And then we got him back into remission, and then we were close to the final stages, and he relapsed, and it's bone marrow then, which was bad. So then we got him into remission. They sent us to Children's Mercy to do that. We tried a drug. It was a trial drug, and it was strange that we got that drug because we were denied it at Stormont. And that's one thing that I learned during Blake's treatment, that you get denied drugs, and I still cannot wrap my head around that when it could save your kid's life. But that's another story.
Right.
So, and then
That's why we're doing all this other stuff.
yes.
Right there.
So then we started Blake's bone marrow transplant in September at Children's Mercy, and that was hard. He got very sick. He ended up getting VOD, and it's from all the medications and chemotherapy and everything. Pretty much your vessels in your liver get real sluggish, and so blood's not moving in them, and your belly swells up, and it can be life-threatening. So we had that against us, but we got to move to Ronald McDonald House late October, and then we lived there in Kansas City and got to go home right before Thanksgiving. And we were home for Thanksgiving and Christmas, and then he relapsed January 9th. And then we were off to Cincinnati for another trial med, and then the cancer was just
Too far.
it was everywhere.
Yeah.
It had gone to his skin, to his eyes, lungs. So we brought him back here in March, Children's Mercy, and he passed away there.
Did they do? Did it just come to a point where you said, "Okay, we're gonna be done with treatment and try to be as happy as we can until you know what's gonna happen"? I don't know how to ask that question. This is,
I think God made that decision for us. We
when
knew.
when it came to the point where the machines that he was on was the only thing keeping him alive, then we prayed about it, and we pretty much knew what we needed to do then.
Yeah, that last few weeks when we got here, he wasn't Blake anymore. He wasn't happy. He hurt. He was done. Like,
Wow.
sorry.
No. This is why we do that, because my whole goal with this was just to people say to me all the time, and I'm sure you at this point, I couldn't do it, but you try to explain to them like, no, you will.
Yeah.
If you have to do it, you will
Yeah,
do it.
you don't have a choice.
And especially when it comes to your kids, I'm sure we are a lot in common. If you're messing with my kids,
Oh yeah.
you better be ready to die because I'm coming after you. So I just think it's important, and this is the best way I can give back, because I don't have awesome masonry skills like you do. I don't have a lot of money to donate, but I can donate my time. I can donate my voice,
Yeah.
which is what I try to do right now, and tell my story. And going back to the placing your faith in God, I walked away briefly at the beginning, and I had a good talk with your father. Well, I don't know whose father it was. One of your
Probably your dad.
Probably mine.
and at one of the St. Jude Dream Home events, and he pulled me back in. He's like, just keep your faith in God. And part of me's, tongue in cheek's like, I'm really mad at God right now. And just listening to him, and I took a deep breath and went down in one of those giant basements of that house and
Right.
kind of went to a room and took some breath, and then came out and gave him a speech. And I'm supposed to be here, and I'm supposed to be here with people like you guys, and I'm supposed to help you all tell your story and what you do to help people. And it's emotional. Just watching you start to tear up makes me tear up, and I'm looking over here to see what he's doing. Because I don't get to talk to fathers that much, so right away, without even knowing each other, we had that bond, and I thought that was important. Just because, like you said, people want to know what we've gone through, and that's how we do it. We got to tell our story. And the first episode, I don't know how many people listened to it, 300, and then more the next episode, and then more the next episode, and eventually there's going to be people that will come forward and want to share their story, because everyone's is different. We never actually sat and talked about, I knew Blake had passed, and I knew it was AML, but that last part, when he was like, cancer had spread, it was in his eyes. And you painted a picture for people to think about, like a young two, cancer all over their body. It's a tough story, and it's a sad story. But it needs to be told. People need to hear it.
And that's we had that same thing with Erica last week too. It's these stories are hard to tell, but they're important to. I don't know, like you were saying, just for community, for like to have fathers get together and to talk about this and to start a conversation around it's important. I mean, it's one of those things. I have a son and he's healthy, but it's. I don't know. I'm having a hard time grasping the words to even describe that. Like, you need this reality sometimes too, and I think that's why I'm here. Is there's still kids that have cancer, and I'm not going to stop until that's not a thing anymore. And thank you for sharing your story. That's why we're all here. I think is to, man, I want to live in a world where pediatric cancer is not a thing. So thank you for sharing.
I think it can happen. I
do
really
too.
do.
I do too.
I still think about. We're not supposed to get political, but Ari's not here, so.
Yeah, we can do it.
So, when President Trump signed that bill, that grant
for kids or for people,
but he gave $3 billion to autism, which is great, and I want people to research autism, but they don't give any money to pediatric cancer research. So give us $1 billion, give them 2, give us 1, and we'll figure it all out.
I was gonna say, I thought President Trump wanted to. He had a thing to allow for people, if they want to take experimental drugs, go for it. Why are we holding this back from families? Like, let's go. Let's get rid of the red tape. And why not? Like, there are medications out there possibly that could work. Let's try it. What else do people have to lose? I mean.
I have no idea. I remember him saying that. I don't know if anything ever came of it.
Right.
So, I don't know. We don't need to get too political.
Yeah.
I remember that. I remember those words.
Yeah. I'm sure he said he was going to give money to pediatric cancer too, but I don't know.
Has not yet, because that would have been a big deal.
Yeah.
So, and I wonder though, with St. Jude and, big thing, the Team Blake Foundation is a big partner in the St. Jude Dream Home in Topeka, in which the first year we raised $750,000. The last year we raised over $1 million.
I think it was 600 the first year, 750.
Oh, okay. And now we're going for $1 million this year, right?
No, actually maybe 700 this year.
I think it was just that we've done the last 2 was like a 1.5 or something.
Okay.
That's fantastic.
In 2 years.
Okay.
I think.
I've done the Wichita one, and I actually did one in Waco, Texas.
Oh.
And it's pretty cool. Just can you want to kind of explain the Dream Home thing real quick? And
So they build a house, an extremely nice house,
Over the top. Nice, right?
$600,000 house, and they get as much donated as they can, land, different stuff from the contractors. Basically, the idea is they get this $500,000 or $600,000 house for as cheap as possible. Then they raffle off tickets for $100 a piece, and for $100 you got a chance to win that home free and clear. The best part about that is, yeah, you win a house, but you're helping out a good cause, and in turn it ends up raising $750,000 for research, helping kids out at St. Jude, the mission that we're all after here. And it raises awareness. It brings contractors together, people together. It kind of brings your whole community together, really, for a common goal.
I love it too. I love
Me
being
too.
there. Everyone's so positive, and
Yep.
they're out there, and we're all just kind of hanging out, eating good sandwiches, looking at appliances that no normal person would ever buy.
The stuff that you put in those are ridiculous.
Yes.
They got a 35.
Keurig
Yeah.
that's built
In
in
the wall.
Yeah,
That's cool.
$3,500 Keurig machine built into the wall.
And then the basement refrigerator is nicer than any refrigerator I would ever buy.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Now let's tie it all in. So that 600, that 700, 750,000 that's raised through the Dream Home. If we get government involved, and let's just say the government does give foundations $3 billion, do they get to say what they do with the money? Because I think that would screw stuff up. In my opinion, I don't know how it works. I just thought, when I think about St. Jude, they don't have to answer to anybody,
Right.
because it's all private entity, all private donations, people donating their time or their money. I don't know. Sometimes I think that's better. You don't have to answer to anybody.
Right.
You're your own boss, right?
Well, I've
sort of.
got a wife.
Oh, that's right. Me too. But it's kind of nice that when it comes to your work schedule, you kind of get to do what you want to do with it, right?
For the most part, yes.
Right. I know you have customers that get to tell you
Yeah.
what to do. And
Yeah.
So kind of explain what it is that you do and what you did for the Dream Home.
Well, I am a masonry contractor. We build houses mainly in the Topeka area and surrounding communities. But what we did is we provided all of the stone installation on the St. Jude homes. And one of the cool parts about that is on the last day, we save some of the easier stonework, and I bring in all of my employees' kids in, and they help us lay the last little bit of stone.
Cool.
And-
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was quite the event, and I bring in pizza for everybody, and the kids, they get safety glasses, they get t-shirts, they get all this stuff, and they just think it's the coolest thing. They cannot wait until they're ready to lay stone on this next one.
Yeah,
So.
and it's like instilled in them that we're helping kids that have cancer by doing that. We've taught our kids a lot to give back to the community. So
And I do a mailbox for all the St. Jude homes, and it has the St. Jude logo on the front as well. So that way people know, hey, this house it's more than just a house, it has meaning.
That's awesome.
That's really neat. I'm looking forward to learning more about that.
Maybe you can come. Watch us
Yeah.
do some work out there. Well, I don't do work. I just stand around and talk. So,
Like, I got
That's
some
my
guys on my
side.
hands. I don't mind swinging a hammer. Can people come out and volunteer and help, or is it?
No, they still have to follow codes. and
Oh, okay.
stuff.
Fair enough. I didn't know if
Yeah.
people volunteer and can help do
we
things.
kind of
or-
snuck our kids in there.
Okay.
It's not
I
like
gotcha.
it's not like what was the TV show where they just built the house and
No.
people shut
I
up.
don't know, move that bus.
Right? Yeah. It's not like that where it's Joe Schmo comes over with a hammer.
Well, I've done Habitat for Humanity before, and I've got a hammer. I'm not certified.
That house is still standing.
No, that was it now.
I said I'm building at $500,000 or $600,000.
Yeah. This was a $5,000 or $6,000. $500, $600 maybe.
Yeah. No, there's $100,000 in appliances in these houses.
Oh.
Seriously.
Seems
Yeah.
excessive, but
It is excessive.
No, it's awesome.
but
It's
it's-
what it
$100,000 in just the cabinets, wasn't it?
I don't know, the cabinets were,
Or crazy expensive.
I mean, everything they put in it is top of the line.
and then
From the kitchen sink faucet to the bathroom faucet to the toilet to everything.
Including the love.
and
Top of the line
Yeah.
love in there too.
so it's $100 a ticket.
$100 a ticket.
And where can people buy these tickets? Because
Oh boy, that's probably out of our pay grade. but-
So-
Yeah.
ASMT usually
Yeah.
has it.
So they have different sell-a-thons. You can
okay.
watch 27 News in the morning. They haven't started selling tickets yet, but you'll be able to purchase them online, over the phone, and then on weekends they will actually have events where you can go to the house and do it. And if you
Wow.
show up to the house, it actually enters you in extra drawings where you can win like $10,000 worth of furniture. And, I mean, just all sorts of stuff, including a modern masonry mailbox.
It's
So.
well worth $100.
No
It's
kidding.
not like, you know,
It's good, like,
lots of
good
people
cost.
waste $100 in lottery tickets around here.
Exactly,
You know?
yeah.
So,
And it's always in Topeka,
Damn, all over the country. You know, that's another show. We could talk about
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
I think they
This is our
did
third
it 60 houses a year
Yeah. And,
all over the U.S.
and then so I got the number was because we had that dinner
At the
a month
Foundry,
ago
yeah.
or a couple months ago, and they talked about it and where it started. It was just some little house in Louisiana that a doctor bought for $80,000 and didn't need it, and he auctioned it off and donated it to St. Jude, and boom, it was born. And now it's all over the country. There's 2 in Kansas, so there's one in Wichita, one in Topeka. They're all over the state of Texas, Louisiana. I don't know. It'd be interesting. We'll look that up. Let's talk about Team Blake Foundation.
Let's do it. Sure. Yeah. So tell us about Team Blake. His legacy lives on. Like, this is amazing stuff.
Yeah, so I guess we started, well, when Blake was in treatment right before our bone marrow, family and friends got together and threw this big golf tournament for us to help pay for medical bills. And it was huge. It was huge for us. So then the next year after Blake had passed away next year, and my husband and I just didn't feel right with just letting Team Blake go. We talked about it and just didn't want to let it go, and so we started the foundation, and we do a golf tournament every year, and that golf tournament funds most of our foundation. It's so much fun. We have so many sponsors and participants. It's like a double header, so it's a shotgun start, I guess. So we have
2 flights.
Yeah.
Okay.
in the morning,
I'm not a golfer. I just know that word. Right?
we start in the morning, and then there's one in the afternoon, and it's just a whole day of golfing and raising money for our foundation. And our foundation, we know the burden of what cancer can bring financially, emotionally, physically, and so we want to lift that off of families during the time of darkness in their lives. And so what we do is we'll help pay a medical bill or maybe your rent. I just met a family like last week that their daughter was just diagnosed with leukemia, and she is a daycare provider. She's got 9 kids underneath her. Well, she had to shut her daycare down because
She had to go to the hospital.
because it's too risky for
Oh,
those
yes,
kids to be
that's
around her daughter
Oh.
when her immune system is down from chemo. So they've lost income from that. So, I mean, that's where we step in and we're like, well, let us pay your rent this month or your car bill or whatever is needed. And so that's a huge thing that we do. We have people do that for us, complete strangers all the time.
We've been
Yeah,
there.
it's
We were
and
just
it's just
there,
yeah,
literally
it's
last
That's the last thing you want to worry about is how am I
Yeah.
gonna pay my bills?
Yeah. And we didn't really have to worry about that stuff, and we got to focus on Blake and what time we had with Blake, which is really important. Like, we just want them to focus on their child during this time and not worry about all the other stuff. So that's how TeamGrit kind of started, and now we do that golf tournament in September, and we do it in September because that's Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month. So that kind of
And it's not normally 100 degrees outside.
that too.
It was Michigan, wasn't it?
It was pretty warm.
Yeah, it was a good day though. It was a good day. It was beautiful. I remember that. And then we also have this huge toy drive in Christmas. We just got done with, and it has just grown every year. It's so exciting.
We have fan favorites. Team Blake toys is Grit's favorite. The dinosaur book, he loves that. Laura goes, oh, we forgot to give him a thank you. I said,
Oh no.
I think they know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that dinosaur book, now he can say Stegosaurus and Megalodon, and I'm like, dude, you're two. What's this? I can barely say those words.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
So yeah, we take those toys and we the week before Christmas we take them to Stormont, and there's hundreds of bags. We take them to Stormont and Children's Mercy, and then we even have enough left over. The last 2 years we've done this, that we take them during Easter too, because people kind of forget about that. A lot of people are very giving around the holidays, but Blake was hospitalized Easter time, and I remember taking little eggs in the hallways of Stormont, and we would throw them, especially when we had steroid nights. We'd be up late and we'd be running the halls.
Okay, so that's not just.
We said that we were talking earlier about that on Grit's first night. It's hard.
It's horrible. I mean, my wife's the tough one. She's the one that stays up, and I don't know, I feel bad sometimes, but I gotta go deal with other people's kids the next day, all day long, which is actually enjoyable for the most part.
At least
I
get school, right? Yeah.
don't have him in class anymore, so I don't have anybody to mess with. But yeah, I forgot what I was gonna say. We were talking about being in the hospital and giving things to kids, and it's just a very comforting thing, because it's just, you don't ever know, and it just takes your mind off of it even for a little bit of time. So
Should we take a quick break, refill the coffee again, and we'll come back with Team Blake. I've got some questions for sure, so we'll be back in a few seconds with Team Blake. Oh man, the stuff that we talked about. Anyway, well, we're back with Team Blake. So the question that I have, the number one thing that we like, how can I help? So how can people help? How can they find you? Are you looking for donations?
Mm-hmm.
How can people get involved in Team Blake?
Well, we're always looking for donations. You can go to our website and donate on there. We have a PayPal link there as well. And then we look for volunteers, mainly for the toy drive. The golf tournament's a little bit more complex. It's kind of family operated there, because that's pretty near and dear to our hearts. That's Blake's legacy for sure. And it's so fun. But yeah, definitely donations and volunteers around the holidays is great.
And is the golf tournament booked up, or can people still participate in that?
No, it's not booked up yet. I will put something out. Usually my goal is to have it out by May. No, before that, isn't it? April? I think it's usually April.
how fast does it fill up? Pretty quickly, I know.
Well, we haven't had it completely full, but pretty close. Because that's how many? 72 teams times 4.
We're still in the learning phase. This is gonna be 4th year, and 1 year we did it during the KUK state football game. The next year, and then the following year we switched it to a Sunday. We learned Sundays, or no, we switched to a Saturday.
And
We learned Saturday's not a good day, so
Sunday's
this year
better.
we're going back to Sunday. Our anticipation this year is it will fill completely up, and probably fairly quickly, but you just never know. We played with dates, and I'm pretty sure we've got.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I just needed to.
Pretty sure that we've got a date that works, and I think it'll be good.
So it's 4 people on the team, $300 a team.
Yep.
And you get your green fees, your cart, you get a luncheon,
And we do tons of fun games, and it is just a blast. And silent auctions, tons of giveaways, awesome prizes.
And then the money goes to.
So it goes to team. All of it goes
100%,
to Team
every
Blake Foundation.
okay.
And then
Team
Team
Blake.
Blake Foundation will help families out. We actually donate towards research too because there's obviously lack of funding there.
It's less than 3% of cancer research funding goes to. This is through the federal government.
Yes.
But goes to
Pediatrics.
cancer.
Okay.
So anything that's been bookmarked for cancer research, it's like 3%. I mean, I could be wrong. I apologize if I'm wrong. It's a very low number, regardless of whether it's 19% or 3%. So
Yeah, it's less than 3. Less than 4.
yeah, it's small.
And I think like the most funded is breast cancer. I think I read that recently.
Well, so where is the golf tournament then too?
So it's actually in Topeka
Okay.
at,
Shawnee Country
I
Club.
always get that wrong.
Yeah.
But we have people all over. We even have people from Lawrence.
It's a nice golf course. We try
Yeah.
maybe once a year. Football coaches get together and go be degenerates for a half a day. So
Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't have to be good at golf. I mean,
Yeah.
even 4 people that don't golf, one of them's gonna have at least an all right shot every
Right.
now and then.
right.
That's neat. I'm looking. We should make a
It's
team.
fun.
We
we
absolutely
should.
as long.
Yes.
Well, pray to God that we should be done before September. Well, before September. So I just pray every day that happens. So, like I said, if our scans are clear next month, we have 6 more months and we're done.
So August 1st.
Around that's the target.
Ish.
Probably.
I'm gonna play some
Probably.
celebratory golf in September.
I'll
That's
take a
wonderful.
day off from football. I haven't. Wait, no, it's on Sunday. So, yeah.
Perfect. I mean,
You know,
I'm-
high school football coaches working all day on Saturday. It's stupid. But that's
Unless you bump up to the major league.
the Chiefs come calling out.
I'd go.
Goes.
I'd go.
The Cowboys just got a new coach, so.
yeah.
And we should point out that she's wearing her Chiefs shirt.
Yeah.
And as you're listening to this, hopefully the Chiefs have won and they're onto the Super Bowl to play the Green Bay Packers, my team. So that'll be a Super Bowl 1 repeat. I'm in, and I couldn't lose either way with that personally because I'd be happy if the Chiefs or the Packers won. But anyway, yeah, it's Sunday and the Chiefs are about to play the Titans.
Yeah,
as
we're
we're
about
recording
an
this.
hour from kickoff.
Yeah.
Or a little 2 hours from kickoff.
And it's intense around here. People are excited. So,
People are excited.
people are excited. Not Nolan. Not no one's.
I'm fine. I'm not a Chiefs fan.
Who do you like?
No, we're not going.
Okay, we're not going. Okay, fine.
It's embarrassing.
That's embarrassing.
He must be a Raiders fan.
Oh, it's so easy when you say it's embarrassing.
Yeah, the Las Vegas Raiders.
That's
That
right.
just rolls off the tongue, doesn't
At
it?
least you get a trip to Vegas out of the deal.
That's
you don't have to
true.
go to Oakland.
That's true. All right.
Okay, so the golf tournament and then the toy drive,
Yeah.
which is you do it a couple of days
We started like right after Halloween.
at multiple locations until.
Yeah, we have drop-off locations, and then Hy-Vee has partnered with us the last 2 years, and they've been amazing. So we'll go there one day, and people like to drop off the toys personally. They want to hand them off to us, which we really enjoy seeing.
And most of the time it's
Yeah.
their kids that hand the toys off, which
Yeah.
is pretty awesome.
Yeah, and then we actually had Nolan's Nation. He's a Down syndrome boy that had cancer. They spread Down syndrome awareness, and they donated. We met them in the hospital 2 years ago when we gave toys to him when he was at Christmas. So that really touched them, and they wanted to be part of it this year. So they helped us this year, which was kind of neat. That they were paying it back.
Yeah. Is Nolan doing well?
Yeah.
or- Okay.
Yeah.
I always hate
Yeah.
asking that
He
question.
well,
It's
he
like-
actually he doesn't have cancer. He was just in for respiratory stuff there.
Oh, okay.
Because
Okay.
Stormont, they don't have an oncology unit.
They do now, right? I thought they got one now.
I don't know.
I thought they.
Was that with Children's Mercy?
I believe so.
I think
it
I
just
heard
came out in
something,
like the
like-
last 30 days or
Yeah,
something.
I think
like
I
that.
heard something the other day about that. But yeah, so they didn't have an oncology unit when we were there. We were there with all the other germs, which was scary a lot of the time. When we had another little boy, was
Carter.
diagnosed. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He was less than a year old when he was diagnosed with leukemia. So he had infant leukemia, which was not very well. He passed away not long after Blakey. So he holds a special place in our hearts, obviously. But it was just him and Blake, and then there was another one, Mia. She was older. I don't know if
Ryan.
Oh, and Ryan. Yeah, I guess we had a lot of people there, which was weird. Ryan's doing well. Mia passed away too.
Yeah.
She's a beautiful, beautiful. With Hayden.
Teenager.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And Ryan was as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep. She had rhabdomyosarcoma.
Same thing Grit has.
I think.
Rhabdomyosarcoma.
Yeah, and because it was like wrapped around her heart. I
Okay.
think.
Okay. So she probably had it a long time and
She-
it spread.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what she had. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But she passed away when we were in Cincinnati with Blake, and then Blake passed away, and then Carter passed away almost on Blake's anniversary day a year later.
That's a.
Yeah, there's too many kiddos out there passing away from this.
You know, there's been, and this is why I wanted to do the TeamGrit stuff. Why I'm running the marathon.
Mhm.
You know, there are kids that I'd met one day and I'd see their parents the next day and they were gone.
Mhm.
And we've been so lucky that that has not happened to us. Whether it's faith or positivity or whatever juju you need to get you through it to keep you going. I hope to not have to experience that. I don't, but you know, it's not up to me. But that's why I'm doing it. Like Friday on our snow day, it was icy and cold and nobody should go to the gym. And we did. And there's a young man, Wyatt, passed away. He's there in the Manhattan area. Burnouts for Wyatt.
Oh, yep.
Yep. He had passed away Thursday evening, and Ari, our co-host, who's sick, she told us about it, and I was ready to quit. But kids won't quit unless they have to, and you know that's why Grit has the name Grit. And I quit feeling sorry for myself and shed my tears, and then moved on. So that's why we're all doing it. We're all here. We all have the same goal. I think the best part about Team Blake Foundation and Team Grit and all the people that we're gonna meet on this journey is we all have the same goal, and we're just ordinary people trying to do extraordinary things. And I think that's important, because if a lot more of us tried to be extraordinary, the world would be a better place, and we'd find a way to beat pediatric cancer and cancer period. So
And the thing I've learned in just the month we've been doing this, there's so many people that are generous and they want to help, they want to give, and I'm just amazed and just inspired by just how kind and caring people are. So thank you if you're listening to this and you've donated or you downloaded the Charity Miles app. Whatever you're doing, like it's wonderful, and to have Team Blake today too to share another story and another way for people to get involved. It's awesome. So I'm continually humbled by just the support that you know our foundations have been getting. So one of the things we really wanted to talk about today too, you had some information about a grant that you wanted to share.
Yep, we have applied the last 2 years with the 2030 Club. They're in Topeka and they help nonprofits. They donate money to nonprofits, and we've applied the last 2 years. And they have gave us another generous grant this year. So we are looking for 5 children who are battling cancer, actively in treatment, or some other life-threatening illness. And we're going to give a large grant to those 5 children. So if anybody knows anyone,
There's some chaos going on upstairs right now.
someone's getting ready for monster trucks.
Yes.
So,
Definitely.
good.
if you know anyone who is has a child who is battling cancer right now, send them to foreverteamblake.com. Our email is foreverteamblake@gmail.com. And we can send you the application, and we've already selected one family this week. We're going to bring their donation to them at Children's Mercy. And it's specifically in Northeast Kansas. So Topeka, Lawrence, Eudora, surrounding areas. We had one last year. It went out to Eudora.
So I guess did we say counties? So Douglas, Shawnee, Jefferson. I don't know all of them. There's too many counties in the state of Kansas. So Jackson. Johnson? Is Johnson in that?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I would think so.
Man,
Yeah.
that's Northeast Kansas, I guess. So.
Yeah, I would think so.
Kansas too many. We have too many.
Too
Too many counties.
Get rid of a few.
Just make them bigger. That's
Well,
all.
even if they're getting treatment at Children's Mercy and they're on the Missouri side, then they can still apply.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's specifically locally around the Topeka area. We like the 2030 Club to see that their money is staying locally and helping children. And there's plenty of children out there that are locally that need these funds. So.
Yeah, a lot more kids have cancer than people realize. So,
Mhm.
do you have a number in Topeka or?
No, I don't.
Uh-huh.
No, I don't. No, but I just visited a newly diagnosed one this last week there. So, I mean, it's so strange once you actually go through it yourself. I think you just feel like you hear it more. I don't know. Maybe that's because your ears are open to it now, or
Yes.
I don't know what it is, but I don't know.
I mean, you don't think about it until it happens to you. I
Yeah.
remember seeing St. Jude commercials growing up. Even when I was growing up, I'm like, man, that's terrible.
Yeah, you change the
that would
channel
never
because you don't want to
happen.
see
That
that.
would
Like
never
nobody
happen
wants
to
to
me.
see that.
And, I was like, man, I can't imagine having like a bald baby or a bald kid or anything like that. And I look at bald babies now and I think they're far more beautiful than kids with hair because they have the biggest smiles. They do.
Grit just started getting a little bit of hair for the first time in a couple of years, so I'm always playing with it. He's like, "What are you doing? Get off, back up, dude."
I know, but didn't you always like pet his bald head? Like
Yes.
I mean, and I'd always kiss Blakey's
Yeah.
bald head, and I was just like, oh, I just loved it so much.
It's those special moments. I mean, even yesterday, for the first time, just because there just hasn't been a lot of moments. And God, if I sound like a terrible dad for this, but yesterday was the first time where Grit, we took a nap together, and he laid on my chest, and at least like since he was a baby, because they've been in Memphis or with mom all day, so he don't want anything to do with dad other than to play after. It was cool, and he was rubbing his hair, he was rubbing my fuzzy, and that's what he called it. Let me see your fuzzy. So, and it's just those special moments that we live for and we fight for. So, anything else that you wanted to share, whether it's Dream Home or are you doing the same thing? Are you doing something different this year?
Pretty much the same.
Isn't it more of a modern home, or did they change that?
Oh, they did change. They flipped the blueprints around, but it's back to a ranch home that was going to be a 2-story. And they just don't really build 2-story houses
In that neighborhood.
It's more of a ranch market. But it's pretty similar to the last one. I'm sure it'll have $100,000 in
I'll be buying
Yeah,
some
refrigerators.
Moving to Topeka?
Why not?
I'd drive to Columbia from Topeka. It'd be pretty long.
I'm done driving to Columbia after this spring,
Oh,
so
perfect. Well, then
That's
you'll win it.
yeah,
You have a
top
house to
city.
move in.
I'm in.
Yeah.
It's just the next cul-de-sac over too. So,
Yeah.
Out west.
well, I guess you were there on
Yeah.
the groundbreaking.
That was horribly cool.
I was
Oh
very
yeah,
cold.
you took the kids there. I was like, I'm staying home with the baby.
You won that day.
Oh,
That's
no,
for sure.
and
You
my
won
daughter
that
didn't want to
day.
go. She's like, I didn't want to go. I was like, I know, I told your dad.
It was cold, man.
Well, we had to
Cold,
bring
cold.
in fresh dirt just so we could
Because
break
it
the
was
ground.
too, that's right, it was frozen solid. Yeah, that's funny. So,
Well, hey, thank you so much
Yeah,
for
thank
coming
you
and
for
sharing,
having us.
sharing Blake's story and for sharing Team Blake with us. Nolan, final thoughts?
check out the Team Blake Foundation website. Follow them on Facebook. They've got a great social media presence on Facebook. They do wonderful things. They've affected our family in multiple ways. They even gave us tickets to the, what did they call it?
It was
The big truck.
Bulldozer days.
Bulldozer days.
Dozer days, yeah.
Dozer
Dozer
days.
days.
And Grit loves excavators, and he got to drive one, assisted drive one. And that was a special day. We one of the few times we got to go out the last couple years, and Ella couldn't figure out why Laura and I were crying, and so it just we've had a big effect on our family, and probably will continue to as we still have at least 6-7 months to go. And we thank you, and we're gonna have you back on so you can spread the word, and maybe we'll do we can come over to Topeka sometimes too. We'll do like a short little podcast,
Remote.
dream home stuff. We'll see if we can get that approved, because I know a lot of those guys would probably like to talk too, and why they do it. And check them out. They're great people, wonderful people, God-loving, God-fearing people. They help restore my faith in God, and your dad. Is it your dad?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And wonderful thing. Thank you. Thanks for taking this 45 minutes to an hour out of your day to listen to us. And if there's anyone out there that wants to share their story, please reach out. And if you need some help, reach out to Team Blake, and they'll get you helped out. They've got money that they want to spend. All right.
Chris, Jaclyn, thank you. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for joining us this week on the TeamGrit podcast. Until next time, thank you. See ya.